It started with the little things, the kind of changes you almost convince yourself you're imagining. We lived in a condo overlooking Lincoln Park in Chicago. I loved that view, especially in the fall, when the leaves turned. For 10 years, that view was the backdrop to our life, to our love story, or so I thought. My wife Sarah started coming home late. Work, she'd say, a quick peck on my cheek before she'd head for the shower. The scent of her perfume, the one I bought her for our anniversary, would be gone. Replaced by something clinical like hospital soap. She started locking her phone, which was new. When I asked, she laughed it off. Just work emails, babe. Happy'd be so bored. Her laughter didn't reach her eyes anymore. They were distant, like she was looking at a stranger. Then came the fights, small, stupid arguments that would blow up into something monstrous. She'd twist my words, make me feel like I was the crazy one. One night, I tried to hold her, to pull her close like we used to. She flinched. Not a big recoil, just a tiny, almost imperceptible stiffening of her shoulders, but I felt it. It was like a shard of ice in my heart. She'd say I was being needy, suffocating. I started sleeping on the edge of the bed, a cold, empty canyon between us. The silence in our apartment was louder than any argument. It was a heavy, suffocating blanket of things unsaid. I felt like I was losing my mind, questioning my own sanity. I loved this woman more than my own life, and she was turning me into a ghost in my own home. The day it all shattered was a Tuesday. It was our 11th anniversary. I'd taken the day off, cleaned the apartment, and was cooking her favorite meal, risotto. Wanted to surprise her to try and get us back to how we were. I even bought a ridiculous bouquet of lilies, her favorite. While I was tidying up our bedroom, my hand brushed against something under the bed. A shoebox, not one of mine. I pulled it out. Inside, nestled amongst old photos and ticket stubs from our first dates, was a letter. The envelope had my name on it, in her familiar, elegant script. My heart hammered against my ribs. I thought maybe it was an anniversary surprise. I opened it. The words blurred. I'm so sorry it has to be this way. I've fallen in love with someone else. His name's Mark. We've been seeing each other for a year. I hope one day you can forgive me. A year. A whole year. The risotto on the stove was burning. The smell filled the apartment. I just sat there on the floor, the letter in my hand, surrounded by the ghosts of our memories, and I just broke. The next few weeks were a living hell. I put the letter back. I didn't confront her. Couldn't. Something in me had snapped. The love I felt had curdled into something cold and hard. I became an actor. I smiled. I asked about her day. I played the part of the devoted husband. Meanwhile, I was a detective in my own life. I put a voice-activated recorder in her car. I installed a GPS tracker. First time I listened to the recordings, I had to pull over on the side of Lakeshore Drive and vomit. Hearing her laugh with him, hearing them talk about me, about my cluelessness, about their future together. It was poison. Mark, I learned, was a senior partner at her law firm, arrogant, wealthy, and married himself. They'd meet at a hotel near the Gold Coast. They talked about leaving us, about starting a new life together. They laughed about how easy it was to fool me. That night, I didn't sleep. I just stared at the ceiling, and for the first time in my life, I understood what it felt like to truly hate someone. My plan began to form, piece by piece, a dark mosaic of revenge. I needed proof. Irrefutable proof. I hired a private investigator, a grizzled ex-cop who didn't ask too many questions. He got me everything. Photos of them kissing outside the hotel, videos of them entering and leaving his apartment, bank statements showing the gifts Mark bought her, the trips they took while I thought she was at work conferences. While she was living her double life, I was building my case. I also started moving my assets, quietly, meticulously. I opened new bank accounts. I consulted with the best divorce attorney in Chicago, a woman known as the Shark. I showed her everything. Her eyes widened. She won't see a dime, she said, a grim smile on her face. Sarah, meanwhile, became even colder, more arrogant. She thought she held all the cards. She started making little comments, laying the groundwork for her departure. I just don't feel fulfilled anymore, she'd say, looking at me with manufactured pity. I'd just nod, my heart a block of ice, and say, I understand, honey. We'll figure it out. The day I chose for the detonation was Mark's firm's annual charity gala. It was the biggest social event of the year for the Chicago legal community. Sarah was so excited. She bought a new dress, a slinky, backless black number. She looked beautiful. It made me sick. As she was getting ready, she said, "I think we need to talk when I get back." I just smiled. "We will." The gala was at the Art Institute of Chicago. The place was dripping with money and power. I waited. The pie was there posing as a photographer. My lawyer was there, a guest of another firm. At 9 p.m., just as Mark was about to go on stage to receive a Humanitarian of the Year award, the lights dimmed. And then, the screens on either side of the stage, the ones meant to show a tribute video for Mark, flickered to life. It started with a photo. Sarah and Mark, kissing passionately, a hotel room key visible in his hand. A collective gasp went through the room. Then another photo, and a video clip, a snippet of audio from the car. Her voice clear as a bell. "I can't wait to be done with him. He's so pathetic." The room was dead silent. Sarah's face was a mask of horror. She looked at me, her eyes wide with disbelief and terror. I just stood there, my expression blank, and gave her the slightest nod. Then I turned and looked at Mark's wife, who was sitting at the head table. I'd sent her a package an hour earlier, an anonymous package with copies of everything. Her face was a storm of grief and rage. Mark was frozen on the stage, his face ashen. The screens went black. In the deafening silence, I walked over to Sarah. I leaned in and whispered in her ear, "The locks are changed. Your things are in garbage bags on the curb. You'll be served with divorce papers in the morning, along with a lawsuit for emotional distress. So will he." I didn't wait for a reply. I just turned and walked out of the Art Institute, leaving the ruins of their lives smoldering behind me. I never saw her again. Heard through the lawyers that she was destroyed. Fired from her job. Ostracized by everyone she knew. Mark's wife took him for everything he had. The divorce was quick and brutal. I got the house, the savings, everything. The court sided with me on every single point. Sometimes, late at night, I walk through the empty apartment. The view of Lincoln Park is still beautiful, especially in the fall. I sometimes stand in our old bedroom, and I think about that shoebox, that letter. I think about the woman I loved, the life we built, and how easily it was all burned to the ground. There's no satisfaction in it. No joy. There is only a profound, echoing quiet. The love is gone, the hate is gone, and all that's left is the cold, hard weight of the silence. And the goodbye letter she wrote me? I still have it. It's the only thing of hers I kept. The end.